Everyone, and welcome to the Political Job Interview, where I interview candidates running for election. I'm Vincenzo Calla, the host, and today I take on the role as the boss, giving a job interview to today's candidate, Cameron Bonesso. Cameron is running for election for Ottawa Catholic School Board Trustee as a candidate for Zone 10. Thanks, Cameron, for your time, and thanks for joining me today.
Thanks, Vincenzo. Thank you for having me.
It's great to have you, and let's get this job interview started. As with any good job interview, I'm going to start off with an opportunity to learn more about Cameron. So, first question, Cameron, is can you tell me a little bit about yourself and your story?
Yeah, for sure. So my name's Cameron Bonesso. I'm 22 years old, and I'm running for Ottawa Catholic School Board Trustee in the 10th Zone. A little bit about me. About 4 years ago, I moved here to Ottawa to study at the University of Ottawa. I'm currently just in my fourth year, finishing off my degree, studying political science and public administration. And besides my degree, I work full time as the managing partner of a small consulting firm on Albert Street here in Ottawa. And yeah, we provide a lot of services to different organizations, different companies. And so we do a lot of design and branding stuff as well. And so part of the reason why, I got involved is in running for trustees. I wanted to get my foot in the door. And so, I'm pleased to be able to put my name forward. And yeah.
So, more on that, I want to ask you, why have you decided to run for this position? Like, why trustee? Why Ocsb? All those things. Why?
Well, I think the main thing is when people look at the position of school board trustee, it is it actually is the oldest elected office here in Ontario. But when you think of like current trustees, we don't really have a lot of young representation on our community school boards. And so, as a young person looking to get my start, I thought it would be a great place to, get some more experience, put my name forward and just give it a shot, right?
Well, definitely, and there's a lot of provincial and federal ministers and MPs and MPPs and all that who started out as school trustees, and it's definitely an important step, and that's where you learn procedure, you learn about
Mm-hmm.
serving on a board, serving on sort of a group thing, and working together to get things done.
Right. And a lot of people do ultimately use it as a stepping stone for higher offers, whether it be, running for member of parliament or council. For me, that's not necessarily my primary intention running for trustee right now. I am somebody who's very passionate about education policy. And for me, coming out of the pandemic, with students returning back to an in-classroom setting, I think more than ever that we need strong leadership and strong stewardship on our community school boards. And so that's part of the reason why I put my name forward.
Let's take a bit of time to talk about this job and what you bring to it. So the first question is, what experience do you bring to this job?
Yeah, for sure. Well, that's a great question. In my own capacity before, I decided to run as a candidate, I was able to found a national nonprofit organization called the North American Youth Wildlife Association. I was a member of that for a long time as one of their co-founders. And now, outside of politics, the experience I bring is from running my own consulting company. So I've been able to be very fortunate over the past 2 years to start my own consulting firm, and now we have up to 10 employees working with us. So I think a lot of my real work, my real world experience from working in the private sector as well as in the nonprofit sector, and being a student not so long ago myself, I certainly know a lot about the student experience, and so that's what I think I bring to the boardroom.
And I want to ask you, what sets you apart from the other candidates who are running for this role?
Well, besides, I would say, me being a young person running, right? Besides that, I would say the real thing that distinguishes me is my ambition and my commitment to the role and my dedication. If I'm elected, I'm able to dedicate a lot of time to being a trustee, because education is so important. While being a trustee it is a part-time position, it is paid as such. It truly is a full-time responsibility. And so, yeah, I'm pleased to be able to have the opportunity to run.
Part of serving as an elected official is serving those people who elect you. So, a few questions about how Cameron wants to serve the people. So, the first one is, what is something that the people you would like to serve, the people of Zone 10, and I guess the students of the Ottawa Catholic School Board,
Mhm.
what's something that they need that you want to get done if elected?
Well, that's a great question. And for me, the top priority is definitely mental health and the physical safety of students. As we're kind of coming out of the pandemic now and returning to that in-person, in-classroom setting, we definitely need to ensure that the physical health and well-being of our students can be guaranteed, whether that be via increased ventilation in our schools, which the Catholic Board was able to install over the past summer, but also with mental health. That is really the cornerstone of my campaign. As a student going to university, I've seen it among a lot of my peers who have struggled with mental health issues. And I know with online learning, a lot of students have been in the same boat essentially, right? Students really thrive when they have that opportunity to be in a social environment, right? Especially for younger students in some of the younger grades. And so, ensuring that at the board level that we're providing not only students but educators as well with that additional level of support for mental health services, that is by far the top priority and going to be the top issue, I think, going into this election.
Well, let me tell you something. So I just graduated from an Ottawa Catholic School Board high school, this past like spring summer, and in my last semester of high school was, I guess, the February to December, February to June of 2022, and that's when everything changed. Basically went from 0 to 100, I guess, in today's standards of COVID management and that sort of thing. And I was at my high school in the mornings. In the afternoons I was doing co-op at an Ocsb elementary school, so I saw all sides of it. Really, I got to see all sides of it and how much things changed. And
Hmm.
um myself as a high school student, my peers, we struggled through not being able to have those in-person experiences and those in-person groups and clubs and activities. And
Absolutely.
the elementary school students even more so, working with them, it was a big hurdle. So to see those coming back and see everything coming back to normal is just so exciting to see that come back again.
Absolutely. Yeah, just to expand on that, in our zone in particular, we have a lot of younger students, right? So there's no high schools in Zone 10 that we represent. It's mostly just, children from kindergarten all the way up to age 6. And fortunately, we actually have two virtual high schools in our zone, and they've done a phenomenal job over the past 2 years in being able to deliver, the best type of education you possibly can virtually. I don't want to discount online education because I think for different students, they're definitely able to thrive in that environment. But for me, and what we've been able to determine, what the actual science shows is that children learn in a social environment. And while they are definitely learning going to school every day, a big aspect of that education is not so much just reading and writing, but also that socialization element. So definitely, having children being able to learn in a structured environment where they have to listen to a teacher, they have rules that they need to follow in that classroom setting, but they're also able to learn alongside their peers there, right? So they're able to attend recess. They can actually meet new friends and meet people every day. That's something that's really important, and that's why I'm very passionate about bringing children back into the classroom.
Definitely. And finally, I wanted to ask you, what's one accomplishment that you have achieved that demonstrates why you'll be a good elected official, a good trustee, if the people of Zone 10 choose you?
I would say it really comes down to my business, right? As a young person, I started my business at 20 years old, right? And when I first started, I didn't have a clue in the world what I was really doing, in all honesty, right? But after time, from learning with on the job, right, with that experience, it allowed me to grow as an individual, and I think that's what allowed me to allow my business to thrive at the end of the day. And so, coming in as a young trustee, look, I realize I don't have as much real world experience compared to other candidates. But what I'll say is that where I lack in experience, I make up with my drive and my ambition, and more so my drive to continue to learn. It's definitely a learning process, as a trustee, right? As is, getting accustomed to any new role. But I would say my biggest commitment is definitely learning more about the job and being able to serve the ratepayers to the best of my ability.
Thank you, Cameron, so much for joining me today. It was great having you, and I'm sure the viewers have really enjoyed hearing what you have to offer to them. Election day is October 24th, 2022, and if you liked hearing what Cameron Bonesso had to say, and you live in Ottawa Catholic School Board Zone 10, you have the opportunity to vote for him on election day. Check with the local election officials for more details. And as someone who would like to vote, if you're somebody who would like to vote for the Ottawa Catholic School Board, there are certain procedures making sure that you are able to vote for the OCSB trustee. So make sure to go check those out at the various election officials online or by contacting the right people. So make sure to stay updated with me. So follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at VC Productions 25. Check out my website, VincenzoCalla.com. Make sure to like, subscribe, and choose to get notifications here on YouTube. The political job interview is a VCalla production. So until the next video, I'm Vincenzo Calla, signing out.